Hi, this is Joe with Insight. We're going to be doing an oven test next. Here we have a gas oven. This unit is the largest unvented appliance in this house, and typically in most houses. The exhaust happens right here at this little vent slot under here. So we need to make sure that when we're reading our carbon monoxide, we're getting an undiluted stream of gas right inside. So the probe needs to be in that outlet, not above, not below, not next to, but right inside there. Otherwise you'll just miss it. You'll miss the gases. Before we turn anything on, we do want to open this oven. Make sure there's nothing inside that's going to burn, melt, or otherwise create a mess or extra expense. We would generally turn on the range hood to exhaust any gases while we're doing this test, but this is a recycler. So all it's going to do is take those gases and come kicking them, spinning them around the house. So if anything, we're going to open up the back door here to let a little fresh air in while we do this test. We will be monitoring our CO with a personal CO monitor. So I'm going to set that guy right here, and it's going to start chirping, bouncing, and blinking if carbon monoxide gets too high during this test. For this test, we will be setting the oven to broil high and give that a little bit, and it'll start up on us. The other thing I want to grab is my timer. We want to start the timer when the oven fires, and generally speaking, the thermometer or the thermocouple on your combustion analyzer is going to be a quicker reaction than your carbon monoxide levels. So as soon as you see the temperature start to move, you know the oven's fired. And we are starting some movement, so I've started the timer. It's still probably in its little warm-up phase, but we're going to get going in on it anyway. Yep. And now it's picking up to, it started out at about 70 degrees, now it's at 88, 91, so it's slowly rising in temperature. According to BPI standards, we run this to steady state within, which is about 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to allow the thing to warm up. What I like to make a note of is our high carbon monoxide. And here we already have undiluted levels at 860, 880, right? So you can get some significant carbon monoxide levels on startup, and I think it's still an important thing to alert homeowners to. A lot of people open the oven and fuss with it. So we peaked out at about 9:30 at about 55 seconds. So I just snapped a picture. It usually happens within the first minute, minute and a half, but at least you can alert the homeowner that, hey, within the first minute, you're looking at almost 1,000 parts per million in carbon monoxide. Be sure the door stays closed, be sure the unit warms up as quickly as possible. I mean, ideally we want to have the thing cleaned and tuned to bring those CO levels down. But in some cases it's just high on startup. Get to steady state, it might be perfectly fine. So it's not atypical for a unit to put out very high levels of carbon monoxide on startup. Just a thing that we can note and let the homeowners know so they can be a little bit more responsible operators of the equipment and mitigate their risk from carbon monoxide. Let's see. So our carbon monoxide levels are about 650 and falling, and we're about minute 45 on the fire. Ambient levels are still, effectively 0, 2, 3 parts in here. Now if I stick this guy right, I can feel that stream of gas is kind of curling right out here because the heat's coming and it's just kind of flowing this way. If I stick this guy right in that stream of gases, I could probably get him to alert, because this is telling me 500 is coming out. It obviously dilutes when it comes out, but now we're at 30, see? So we're now at 40 parts per million. If I bring this guy out here, it'll take a second or two, but then it'll realize that the CO is lower and it'll drop back down. And as soon as it drops below 35, it'll stop screaming at me. There you go. Just, hey, you're in danger. Run away or open a window. So this is looking out for you. Make sure that you pay attention to that. Make sure this guy's in the right spot. I can clip this guy to my lapel if I want to really make sure that I'm protecting my breathing, zone. But if I need to walk away, I can set this guy over here, and if we have large, high carbon monoxide being generated in this area, that thing's going to start jumping and screaming and flashing to get your attention. We're at about 3 minutes here. The carbon monoxide levels have dropped to 260 parts per million, so it's falling. I could sit here and watch this, but there's other things to do. So I'm gonna let this thing run, come back at 10 minutes, and just get a steady state carbon monoxide, steady state temperature. Right. So we're here at 7 minutes. Our carbon monoxide is at 50 parts per million. I could run this for 10 minutes, but it's well below our standards. So we're just gonna say the oven is good. You know, at steady state, the CO comes down. So we do have a concern on startup, but once it's warmed up, we're looking at fairly low carbon monoxide. So I'm going to take a little photo to document our readings, and then I'm going to shut off my oven because I have a tendency to forget that. So after I get my readings, I shut off my equipment, or shut off my appliance, and then we can look at shutting off equipment. So, and what's going on? It says CO high. Why won't it turn off? Because it doesn't want me to get hurt. The CO's high is basically saying, don't shut me off, I'm protecting you by telling you what CO is in the area. So I have to wait for the CO to drop a little bit, and then I can, in this case, pause the pump.